Hello there Titan fans, this is Kodomono, here to talk about what pilot and Titan kits work best for frontier defense. We've got a lot to cover, so let's kick things off and talk about the pilot kits. Depending on what you tend to use more, the better first kits to use are Power Cell and Ordnance Expert. Power Cell is particularly good if you find yourself without your Titan a lot and require the use of AWOL more often for that much needed DPS. Ordnance Expert is certainly the stronger choice though, as both arc grenades and electric smoke are highly effective in this mode due to slowing down all targets. If you find yourself taking hits a bit too much and want an extra bit of security, or if you don't feel like a confident pilot, then fast regen is a solid pick to go for. Phase Embark is definitely the weakest kit to choose here, as you will almost always want to be in your Titan anyway, and embarking doesn't have too many consequences as long as you're not in an area where your Titan is at risk of taking damage. Moving on to Kit 2, you will almost always want Titan Hunter. Regaining your lost Titan is exceptionally fast in this mode already, but going with this kit makes it that much faster, especially if you are using guns like the SMR behind an AWOL, or if you are particularly good at getting nuke rodeos. If you don't have Titan Hunter unlocked, then Hover is another useful skill. The rest are not really that useful in this mode. Now let's move on to the generic Titan kits. On the whole, these kits are fairly simple, especially where frontier defense is concerned. You will either be wanting to run overcore or turbo engine depending on your Titan, and the map to a lesser extent. The Ogre Titans, namely Scorch and Legion, benefit heavily from actually being able to move around more easily, so turbo engine is a must in most situations for these two. The likes of Ronin and Northstar and Ion can all make good use of the extra boost as well. Sometimes all you need is that extra boost to close that final gap. For Northstar, it can be the difference between escaping a rough situation to retaliate later or not. And the same can be said for Ronin, but in a more offensive sense. Monarch and Tone benefit heavily from using overcore. This is due to their core abilities being great at versatility and powering up and dealing that much needed extra punch. Monarch starting with 20% core charge with every upgrade is crucial, as not only does upgrading give you max shields immediately, it also gives you your powered up state. For Tone, having the salvo core more readily available will cause havoc for enemy AI forces. You may be thinking, hey, why don't I try Nuke Eject? And ordinarily you would be right in checking it out. However, the damage output you lose from losing your Titan just isn't worth taking out the odd AI forces with a huge explosion. There's also the Nuke Rodeo that does the exact same thing, but lets you keep your Titan. Nuke Rodeo is the better of the two options, but is still a high risk thing to do. Lastly, we're going to talk about the enhanced Auto Titans. Don't use them, that's all there is to it. The AI control Titans gets itself killed much too quickly to be effective or useful in the slightest. There's nothing more to be said on it. With the Titan kits out of the way, it's time to discuss the individual Titan kits, starting with Ion. Refraction Lens is superb at dealing damage in close quarters and dealing with flying drones. However, as each shot costs slightly more energy and is fairly wasted at distance from enemy forces, it has limited utility. From personal experience, the damage you gain is absolutely incredible at close ranges. However, you will find yourself burning through energy fairly quickly until the later Aegis upgrades, where you will be able to take out enemy Titans more effectively for less energy. 0-point Tripwire is ultimately the best kit for Ion to use. The blast radius is absolutely huge, taking out the smaller AI forces like they were nothing, and dealing considerable damage to AI Titans and Reapers. Being able to plop these mines out without a care in the world is amazing for damage and pausing enemy movement. It also doubles as a lane stopper, which works wonders on clusters. Grand Cannon is the final kit to consider when using Ion. This should mostly be used when your Ion is at max Aegis upgrade, as the length of time that the laser goes on for is ridiculous. Given how strong it is, especially in this mode, there's no reason not to try it at least once if your Ion is maxed out. I would also recommend using the Overcore chip to give yourself laser core even faster. Moving on now to Scorch, and there's only really two options worth talking about. Wildfire is generally the best kit for Scorch to use, as the extra damage dealt from direct hits and the damage over time is superb in frontier defense. There is no arguing that the AI forces will always stand there and take at least the first hit, regardless of what it is. Combined with Scorch's Aegis upgrade that generates flame core even faster, it is without a doubt the strongest kit at Scorch's disposal. Tempered plating is another nice kit that can be utilised, but is more dependent on the map than anything else. Having known weak point means that Scorch can tank a lot more hits, and being able to walk in your own fire is a nice perk to boot. It is mostly useful for getting close and personal with the AI forces, but you generally don't need to do that. Getting in an enemy Titan's face with the flame shield can have some amazing results, but generally they will just make their way towards you. Next we have Northstar, who has gotten the short straw in terms of kit variety. As short as this straw is, it's capable of dealing ridiculous damage to clustered Titans. We are of course referring to Piercing Shot. There is literally no need to even worry about unlocking anything extra here, as being able to shoot through both allies and enemy forces is too good to pass up. A teammate can literally tank hits and protect you whilst you shoot through them and deal damage to Titans as if they weren't even there. This works best when enemies are clustered together, and on maps with long narrow alleys, they are simply asking to be shot to smithereens. Now we're onto the other Strider Titan, Ronin. Thunderstorm is a decent kit that lets you use Arcwave twice instead of just once, allowing you to stun enemy Titans and Reapers more often. Generally, the Arcwave is decent for stopping distant targets and allows you to reload your gun safely. Also great for getting in close to deal more damage with an extra melee hit. Temporal Anomaly can be used to reload your weapon safely, pass through friendly Titans, and escape danger. When you get the Aegis upgrade for the skill, it becomes even more useful to reload your weapon. Highlander is the best skill for Ronin when he gets his maximum Aegis upgrade, as it makes his sword core last for an incredibly long time, in addition to extending whenever an enemy Titan is defeated. This will definitely require some skill in combination to blocking on the approach of AI forces to gain shields, otherwise you may find yourself wasting both your core and your Titan. In the right hands, this is certainly the kit to use for Ronin. Stepping over to Legion, we have a couple of good options to choose from. Enhanced Ammo Capacity is the best starting kit for Legion, as it lets you learn how he plays in Frontier Defense, and lets you shoot for longer. Both are incredibly good starting points, and when it comes to maps that favour longer ranges, such as Kodai and Homestead, you will be wanting that extra ammo over another power shot, since the long range bullets go through ammo at twice the rate. Hidden Compartment, even with the recent nerf, is still the best kit to go for with Legion. That extra shot makes all the difference against AI forces and clears out Reapers and infantry really efficiently. When combined with the later Aegis upgrades, being able to shoot through Doomstate makes a huge difference. Regardless of what you use, Legion will eventually have every single kit at his disposal at max Aegis upgrade, which is arguably the most impressive final upgrade of all. Next, let's talk about Monarch, who is easily the most versatile in this mode. Depending on what role you want to play as, you can either be support or offense. Your team will appreciate your support roles. If they don't appreciate your efforts, then they're terrible pilots and should get their batteries stolen. Just because you're playing support doesn't mean you can't deal decent damage and still be in the fray too. For starters, having the Energy Thief actually makes executions worthwhile, and really improves your survivability. It is easily the best kit to go for, as long as you don't always rush in for the kill if you don't need it. Survival of the fittest may seem like a decent idea, however if your Titan is in doomed state anyway, it is better to just earn a new Titan instead of saving it. The rate at which you earn Titans in this mode is really fast, so there's no need to revive any Titan if it's nearly dead.
Angela, I require healing.
Now let's talk about the upgrade core. As well as using the overcore chip to upgrade more frequently, using the upgrade core will immediately fill Monarch's shield gauge. Very useful when in the heat of combat, and for when you're ready for those much needed upgrades. On offensive sets, you will definitely want arc rounds. Whilst the shield damage is only useful for nuke Titans and the occasional ion shield, it is the extra ammo you are really after here. For support, energy transfer is easily the best skill. Being able to give your team a slight amount of shields, rearm and then give them shields again is a great way of improving your team's survivability. For the second upgrade core, rearm and reload is incredibly useful from an offensive and supportive front. The quicker reload times mean you can get back into the fight more efficiently, and the quicker rearm times mean you can shoot your teammates with shields more often. Another offensive option is Maelstrom, which will deal massive damage to a wider area as well as give yourself and teammates shields depending on your Aegis level. Don't rely on out-healing incoming damage when in smoke though. Lastly, for support, Energy Field will allow you to heal your teammates in a wider area, as well as deal minor damage to grunts and ticks. In some cases, you will even be able to destroy the tick groups in one go. On to the final upgrade core, superior chassis is certainly the main one to go for. Who wouldn't want more survivability? You gain as much HP as an Ogre Titan, but still have the movement of an Atlas Titan. If you wanted to be more offensive, you can go for Exo 16 Accelerator, but honestly, who can argue with more HP? Lastly, we're going to talk about Tone. Shamefully, Tone is the Titan that has the least amount of use in this mode. Nothing really sets it apart from other Titans, and even with the Aegis upgrades available, it's not something that other Titans can do the same but better. You will certainly want to make use of the Overcore chip, as Tone's Salvo Core works wonders. Pulse Echo is great for getting extra lock-ons, especially when shot into clusters. It also has a great combo potential with the latter Aegis upgrades. Reinforced Particle Wall is great for blocking incoming shots and supporting your team, and once again works well with Aegis upgrades. There isn't really much else to say about Tone. That pretty much wraps up this video. Let us know what kind of loadouts you use in the comments below, and if you have any constructive feedback other than "this guy's voice sucks," then drop that in the comments too. Stay tuned for another video on what Titans work best on the different maps coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe if you're new for more Titanfall content. This is Kodomono signing off. Good luck out there, pilots!